So it is the last spin for this lot. The loser will be kissing goodbye to any chance of winning the £10,000 prize money. Remember, only the first 3 will go through to the wipeout zone. Slowing to a stop, and they're off.
Oh, here they go. One last attempt.
Oh my God!
Oh, disaster for Johnny as he takes a dip in the water for the first time. About time too. Headband Dan's made a right mess of it, which leaves Sian with a clear run across the tables. And she's across the first table. And the second, and she's through to the wipeout zone. Go Sian.
We have a woman in the final.
Johnny's off again. Did Headband Dan just tip the table? And Dan's tipped Perrin in too. Dirty but effective tactics from Headband Dan.
Dan.
He's across the first table. He's not making friends, but he is making distance. He's over the second, and he is through to the wipeout zone. So Sian and Dan are already through. It's Perrin versus Johnny for the last place in the final. Perrin using all his strength to have a last go, but no, action man Johnny jumps on and completely upsets the table. I think he may have done that on purpose. He sprints for the line, and Johnny has done it. He is in the final with Sian and Dan. Perrin is eliminated.
Where did it all go wrong? Was it the very end?
Just get sliding off.
For someone who didn't say very much in the beginning, you were full of beans on that last round.
No problem, man.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Well, certainly couldn't have put it the same way. Right, Perrin, Kathy and Ben are out. Sian, Dan and action man Johnny go through to the wipeout zone for their chance to win that £10,000 prize. But before we unleash our 3 finalists on the most challenging and downright scary obstacle course in the world, let's have a look at their journey to today's final.
Getting to the final was an amazing achievement for me.
Facing the wipeout zone tonight, I feel anxious, nervous. It's nothing like I've never done before. It's going to be a tough course.
I think now we're down to the last 3. We're each looking at each other knowing that one person's going to win that 10 grand, and yeah, it's a lot more competitive.
Surprised Sian's here, being a girl. I expected 3 fit males to be there.
I'm definitely pleased there's a girl in the final. It's between me or Johnny now.
Dan and Johnny don't think I can do very well, and I think they've got it easy against me, but I'm going to give them a run for their money. I think people underestimate me a lot.
Sian, the little girl from Wales.
She's obviously a little bit smaller, probably a little bit slower.
She'll not be able to keep up with our physical stamina and mental ability.
I'm going to do it for the girls, do it for Wales. I'm going to give it all I've got.
I'm going to win Total Wipeout because I'm the best competitor there is. I deserve to be up there, and I will be the winner at the end.
I've been confident throughout, I've been leading throughout, and I'm just going to roll it in the final as well.
Night has fallen in Buenos Aires. That's in Argentina. Keep up. Our 3 finalists are readying themselves for the biggest challenge of their lives. It's called the Wipeout Zone, and you've never seen anything like it. Unless you saw last week's show, or the one before that. Okay, so it's an obstacle course like you may have seen before, but it's still massive and really frightening. This is what our 3 finalists, Johnny, Dan and Sian, have to face. First, they launch themselves down the high-speed killer surf. Next, it's a swim to the barrel run, where they must hurdle 50-kilogram barrels as they roll towards them. Then it's a treacherous and slippery climb across the waterfall, before leaping onto the fast-moving spinner, traversing the rolling beam, and finishing with a leap off the launch pads. The fastest finalist will be tonight's winner and take home the £10,000 prize.
They have waded through water, bounced off balls and spun themselves dizzy, all in an attempt to get to the most difficult challenge yet, the Wipeout Zone. And first to go is Johnny.
Come on, yes! So, ex-soldier Johnny is up first, no doubt desperate to beat Sian. Super competitive action man Johnny is off. swims now towards the barrel run. Johnny used to be in the army, so should have plenty of experience on obstacle courses. They're not necessarily exactly like this one. I probably should mention that walkway is covered in grease, and those barrels now rolling towards him weigh a whopping 50 kilograms.
Ooh.
Ow! Johnny's adapted his style halfway through. It's less dignified, but still effective. Don't forget, he's got to set the time for the other two to beat. Now he's onto the wet and slippery climbing wall. That was nearly a very costly slip. Maybe he's trying to keep the tension up for us watching. Towards the spinner now, he's got to make the leap onto it. Johnny prepares. He's across! He makes it. More importantly, he's got something to hold on to. But the longer he stays on the spinner, the dizzier he'll get. That'll make it harder when he clears it for the next obstacle. Nice work. He's done it first time. Just the rolling beam and launch pads to go now. No problem there for Johnny. I'd say we could be in for a very, very good time. Oh! He's made his first error. It was all going so well for Johnny up until that point. And that mistake will cost him vital seconds. Johnny now climbs up the ladder. He's got to go back up to the first launch pad and make it to the second. Oh, he's fallen it again! This is a disaster for Action Man Johnny. Great news for womankind. For him, a disaster. After such a promising start, it's all turned into a frustrating end. This could cost him 10 grand. Keeping control now, save for that time. Onto the second trampoline. He can nearly touch the finish line. He's there, and Johnny has done it with a time of 4 minutes, 24 seconds. But he's going to be so annoyed with himself. He made such a strong start to the wipeout zone, but then threw it all away on the launch pads.
What happened?
I don't know, I just couldn't do it. I just gone too fast, too quick. I expected that to be easy, but not the hard bit.
Well, I can tell you right now that your time, Johnny, was 4 minutes and 24 seconds.
Well, lucky.
All right, next up is Dan.
Let's have it right! Let's go! Woo!
And he's off. Dan, our 22-year-old event organiser from Surrey, front crawls his way through the water. Now crawls his way up the beam, onto the barrel run for Headband Dan, where he's got to try and stay out of the way of those barrels. Oh, I thought it was nearly all over before it started. Dan's opting for Johnny's slightly over-dramatic leaping technique. It does look effective, but I suspect it costs him valuable time. He's getting over, he's staying on, but it's taking time. Onto the wall now, Dan feeling the full force of the water crashing down on him at a rate of 2,000 litres a minute.
Come on, make him fall, come on!
Support from his competitors. So to the spinner, will he get on first time like Johnny? Yep, he does. Dan is safely on. Now he's got to wait for the perfect time to attempt his leap. Get the timing wrong and he's in the drink. That will cost him time. Excellent judgment from Headband Dan. Now Dan needs to steady himself for the roller beam. But he's made light work of that. Oh no, disaster for Dan! He's face planted onto the first launch pad. Out of control, a slip, I don't know what happened, but that's got to hurt. The clock keeps on ticking while Dan clambers back up for another go. A more gentle approach works better this time, making the leap to the second pad. Dan's showing Johnny how this should be done now. And he's done it in a time of 2 minutes 15. Strong display from Headband Dan, but he doesn't know yet whether he's beaten Johnny. That was an impressive performance. A more cautious approach on the launch pads paid off for Dan in the end. But will it be paying out to the tune of 10 grand?
Come on out to me, Dan the man. How was that for you?
That was good fun, yeah. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah?
Win or lose now, it's the experience it's all about.
So the question is, are you faster than Johnny?